SFDCRADIO.com and mash up the world.
www.sfdcradio.com. Sunday Vibration, Sunday shows here upon us again, 8 o'clock United Kingdom time to 10 o'clock. It's all about straight to the point. Yes, straight to the point every time. It's all about exercising your freedom of speech, freedom of expression, same time being conscious and being mindful of the legal parameters and the spiritual parameters that we have in place. See? So, we definitely want people to use the platform and don't to be intimidated by anybody, because everybody who there so far have the platform to freely speak, and it's important you say what you mean and you mean what you say. There are different school and thoughts and going on by many things. This evening again, Sunday evening, straight to the point, but at the topic, and we're going to kick off with Brother Mandingo. We're going to link up with Brother Mandingo because we have a topic where we ask people to feel free naturally to bring any topic they wish to bring to the point, they wish to address straight to the point. This is what the platform is here for. You see me, I say, and even if sometime I may not understand whatever the subject, if you want the people to always feel free, to bring forward to the forum any subject that you want and you wish to get straight to the point. You may have a concern, you may have a sentiment, you may have, you see me, I say, something you feel that is relevant for the people to know about. You see me, I say, so we definitely not always keep a open mind. You see me, I say, we ask the people to keep an open mind. You see me, I say, and don't be afraid to learn, because sometimes, remember, say life is about learning and learning is about life. So, we learn every day. Right now, remember, so now from last week, now we have a topic. The topic was all about Brother Mandingo did feel like, well, it was kind of bring the topic to the forum again. And so we're going to kick off this evening with Brother Mandingo, who felt that vital key African Jamaicans were ignored by the Jamaican Reggae Industry Association, and he went on to express the fact that he felt it was disrespectful as well as wrong, yes, for the Jamaican industry to be given an award to David RODIGAN just to represent the reggae music, which is the African culture, yes, in a kind of nutshell. Again, I have been trying to link up with the Jamaican Reggae Industry Association from the last 3 days, and I must admit my computer has crashed. It's quite possible they could have responded to my request to come on the show this evening. Empress up on the line. I'm waiting for some kind of, hopefully some vibes gonna happen. There's a slight technical vibe with my computer, so we're going to find out between now and later to find out whether or not we did get a response. I did, like I said, contact the executive director of the Jamaican Reggae Industry Association, putting forward some questions, because I can't answer certain things. I don't know what kind of criteria them have. It's first time I hear about the association, much less how them function, what kind of policies and what kind of criteria them have, and how did it come about for David RODIGAN to be nominated for that particular category again, so again, we're going to see between now and the end of the show whether I'm able to get any correspondence from the association who also those should be locking in, because them don't know it from last week. Things are going on. Again, we want to kick off the program this evening, like I said, with Brother Mandingo, who again whose concern was that vital key African Jamaicans were ignored by the Jamaican Reggae Industry Association. I want to say, like I said last week, we also had Sir Lloyd Cox on the show, Castro Brown on the show last Sunday, and again, expressing their views and concern. This is a moment in time we say welcome to the show again, getting straight to the point, Honorable Brother Mandingo. Brother Mandingo?
Yes. Yes. First of all, I, Mandingo, African from Jamaica, give thanks and praises to the Almighty Creator, Ra, Chuku, Olodumare, Onyami, Moari, and the many other African names we have for the Almighty Creator in our various African languages. And of course it is today, Sunday, the 8th of February, 2015. We have no time to waste, so I get straight to the point. Mm-hmm. What this really is about, last week's show that started it all, was an idea that I had and put into motion, organized, because when my good friend Lloyd Coxon of Sir Coxon Sound said he wanted to meet me, and we met in Brixton, a few Saturdays ago, and he showed me an article from the Jamaica Observer showing where people like Dufin, the first sound system man in Europe in 1955, and one of Jamaica's first DJs, the man who taught Count Machuki, and of course Count Machuki taught Kingston, when saw that Lloyd Coxon was very upset, and he was right, that David Rodigan, as a non-African, got an award by a group calling itself JARIA, Jamaica Association, recording industry in Jamaica, for contribution towards the growth and development of Jamaican music. And the other 20 were people from Jamaica, and so on. And of course, I agreed with Lloyd Coxon when I read the article that this was totally wrong, disrespectful, and out of order. Now, what this is about is that it is not about an individual. It's about a race. It's about the rights of the African race to be respected for what we have created and given to the world. So this is not about any individual. The mention of individuals is only incidental. The thing is about racial disrespect. The truth of the matter is that ever since the days of the invasion of our mother continent, Africa, Europeans, Arabs, and others before them who have invaded our motherland and enslaved our people, etc., is that there's a pattern of racism. Racism that treats Africans as being subhuman, not civilized, savages, etc., not creating anything worthy. And even when we create things that are worthy, people try to steal it from us, try to claim that it's theirs. For example, we built the pyramids, and you would have racist Europeans and Arabs saying that we didn't build the pyramids, meaning our ancestors. Many other inventions in history and other things that we have accomplished as African people, you find that racists tell lies in their books and other forms of media that we did not do these positive things. And of course, part of the program of control is the indoctrination in the minds by these racists of African people to hate themselves and to fight against other Africans. And so you have some Africans in every generation who are totally mentally enslaved and who fight against their African race on behalf of the races. This has been so in every field for centuries upon centuries. And we still have those individuals today, which is why Marcus Garvey said, emancipate yourself from mental slavery. None but ourselves can free our minds. Yes. And it's all about African self-reliance and not depending on non-Africans for our progress, etc.
Yes.
The thing is, Marcus Garvey was one of those who promoted the arts, the music of African people. He did it when he was in the States. He did it in Jamaica. Liberty Hall at 76 King Street in Jamaica, Marcus Garvey's place, was a place where a lot of plays and things were kept. Marcus Garvey wrote plays. Some of the early people as actors and so on, comedians in Jamaica like Kid Harold, many people came through Marcus Garvey, giving them a platform at Liberty Hall and Edelweiss Park on Slipe Road, 67 Slipe Road, near to Crossroad, where Marcus Garvey put on plays and musical affairs for our people, events for our people to progress culturally, because Marcus Garvey knew that we fight on all levels, yes, economically, politically, culturally, which involves the music, the arts, etc. And Marcus Garvey wrote plays and wrote poems, etc. And we at all times must control our cultural creations. In Britain, due to what I have been saying, racism has always been a part of the music industry. African music from Jamaica, African music from Trinidad, Kaiso, Miss Nia Calypso, has always been discriminated against in a racist way by the racist British news media, both in terms of newspapers and also radio stations. For example, in the 60s, when we had hits by Prince Buster, Desmond Dekker and the Aces, Jimmy Cliff, and many others, the Scatterlights with the Guns of Navarone instrumental that was in the British charts and so on. These successes were made against overwhelming odds because the racists fought against our culture. Our music was seen as savage, primitive, and not good. But our music was so powerful that despite the racism of those in the British media, on radio, who refused to play our music, or hardly played our music, we still came through. So we came through against all the odds. So that tiny island of Jamaica with the Africans producing music there, for example, is a superpower that the racists tried to destroy and control and still try to do today. The thing about it is that in terms of earning power, whenever music is played on a radio station or on TV, in the so-called licensed media, the composer or the lyricist is paid when the music is played. This is what you call performing rights. So you have a Society Performing Rights Society, PRS, or NCPS, when you manufacture goods. In the States, the equivalent are BMI and ASCAP. The thing about it is that there's been a racist pattern to deliberately minimize the playing of African music from Jamaica. Because every time you hear a music that is played, then it's money. So, for example, the BBC and other stations. And you find that in Britain, the English, they play and push their music. They play it so that their artists, their writers, earn money. No, I am not against that. But the playing field should be equal, should be level. Give each music a chance. But they don't do that. They don't do that. And one of the things I don't like in the playing of, for example, reggae music, say from the 70s coming through, is that if you were to listen to Smooth FM, BBC, and other European-owned and controlled stations, you'd think that the only person who made and sung reggae music is Bob Marley. Now, I love Bob Marley. And the Wailers are one of my favorite groups. My favorite group, of course, is the Mighty Heptones. My favorite artist is Alton Ellis. My favorite musician is Jackie Mittoo, the man who invented reggae music at Studio One in 1968 with the cables, Baby White, the organ shuffle. The thing about it is that every time you hear Bob Marley's songs being played, he earns money, or now is his family. And Chris Blackwell, the executive producer who provided the money for the production of the songs and so on, earns as the publisher. If you look at records or CDs or whatever, you will see Blue Mountain Music. That's the music publishing company of Chris Blackwell. I'm saying these things so that people are educated as to what is going on, because a lot of people are not educated about the history of the music business. So what it means is that the overwhelming play given to Bob Marley enriches not just Bob Marley, but Chris Blackwell, who was born in London. His mother was not born in Jamaica, but she's from a Jewish family in Jamaica that had sugar plantations in the days of slavery in Jamaica, the Linda family. Her name was Blanche Linda. Is Blanche Linda. She's still alive. I'm stating these things so that people know where I'm coming from. Remember that Jimmy Cliff was the first Jamaican artist to be popular in Africa. This was from the 1960s. I want people to know this. Jimmy Cliff was the first Jamaican artist to be popular in Africa. There have been other artists who have been popular in Africa also. Of course, you know Peter Tosh. Honey Boy Williams, my cousin, who now lives in Brazil, a pioneer of Lovers Rock. Was very popular in West Africa, especially in Nigeria. He had a big hit there with a album called Dark End of the Street.
Yes.
Okay? Of course, he had hits like Sweet Cherry and Impossible Love that he did for the great Count Shelley. Count Shelley, for example, is a man who is deserving of an award for the growth and development of Jamaican music. Both as a sound system owner and as a record label and as a record producer, Count Shelley. His birth certificate name, Ephraim Barrett. But the first one that I spoke about last week was the man who started the sound system in this country, my friend Duke Vinn, in 1955. He was the first sound system. And remember, sound systems, the creation of Africans in Jamaica from the 1940s. The first sound system was Roy White. He was a band leader, and he taught woodwork at Kingston Technical High School. And he had his furniture place at Beeston Street and Smith Lane near to Kingston Technical High School, you know. And when you hear me talking about people like this, these are people who I know and who knew me, okay? Duke Vinn, as the first sound system man, and the sound system being the radio of the people. Because when radio stations would not play our music, it's sound systems that did that. And the playing of our music, when we had Steve Barnard having in the 70s, early 70s, a reggae show on Radio London, and he was from Trinidad. He was a DJ for Count Suckle at the Q Club. And you had other people like Buddy and Van Vigo of People Sound later on and so on. Those were token gestures by the BBC to appease our people who were saying, why is the BBC not giving enough eartime for our music? Later on you had Tony Williams on it and others. Tony Williams played reggae music on Radio London, as did David Rodigan and so on. Now, I am not against non-Africans playing our music or loving our music. I have no problem with that. That's good. What I totally reject and detest is when non-Africans are promoted over the Africans from Jamaica who created our music. That is what I am totally and absolutely against, without apology. That is the reality. So I am saying this to anticipate the traitors and the mentally enslaved who would think falsely that I am pushing something against those who are non-African who get involved in our music.
We hear you. Yes.
What I am against is non-Africans being involved in our music where they are promoted
over
or try to be portrayed as those in charge of our music and as being representative of our music. We, as the Africans who created our musical forms, we own our music and we are the ones who represent our music. I noticed you earlier, you played General Echo Arlene. which was his second hit, produced by my friend Winston Riley of the Techniques Group and later the Techniques label. And remember that General Echo's first hit, Sex Educational Class, was produced by I Mandingo, the African for my Mandingo label, with the Marcus Garvey colors of the red, black, and green. I have other things to say, but I will leave it at that.
Yeah, man.
For now, with the final thing for now, by saying that what must be played as, for example, reggae music on licensed, government licensed radio stations in Britain must not just be Bob Marley's music. It must be the music of other artists. Other artists have to eat. Other artists have to live. They have families. It's not just Bob and Bob's family. So I want to hear the music played of artists from Bob's time and artists who are around now as a younger generation, etc. In other words, then, let everyone be able to eat and to make a living from their musical creations. We do not want a situation where it is falsely portrayed that Bob Marley is the be-all and the end-all of reggae music. Bob Marley is simply one of the kings of reggae music, just like Dennis Brown, Alton Ellis, Ken Booth, the Heptones, John Holt, the Paragons, etc., etc. Because every man is a man and every woman is a woman. Because we don't leave out Phyllis Dillon, Marcia Griffiths, Judy Mowat, Cynthia Richards, Queen Ifrica. And by the way, condolences to the Queen Ifrica and the rest of the family, because I was told today that Queen Ifrica's mother passed away recently. Of course, Queen Ifrica's father is my friend, the great ska legend, and his music must be played too on radio for him to earn money. Derek Morgan, the great. And finally, the son of Clement Seymour Dodd, Jamaica's greatest record producer, his son, Clement Dodd Jr., popularly known as Junior Dodd, passed away sadly from cancer on Thursday the 5th of February 2015.
Condolences every
in
time.
New York.
Whoa.
Condolences.
Yeah, to the family and the fans.
He was born on the 8th of March 1957 in West Kingston and grew up in Waterhouse until he came to Britain with his two sisters and mother in about 1964. He was my very good friend, and for people from Birmingham, Junior Dodd and Stafford Douglas, my friend too, who owned Mafia Tone Sound System and who died tragically in Jamaica in Old Harbour. Junior and I went to his funeral near Bella's Gate, where Stafford is from, in Jamaica, in St. Catherine, some years ago, where Stafford was buried by Blue Hole, you know, in St. Catherine. Bella's Gate, of course, is also where Jamaica's greatest playwright, Trevor Rowan, the man who actually wrote The Harder They Come, was from, okay? Stafford Douglas, my friend, Mafia Tone Sound System from Birmingham, was from Bella's Gate. So I'll leave it at that for now, and condolences to the family of Queen Ifrica on the passing of her mother, I was told. And a great cricket legend from Jamaica, Richard Austin, known as Danny Germs. You remember that South Africa tour, the Rebel tour? And he was one of those, and afterwards he just went to pieces and became a crack addict. He passed away recently also.
What a thing, what a thing.
Richard Austin,
oh, gosh.
Danny Germs.
Condolences again going out to the... Condolences again to the family and to the fans.
Again, yes. He was 60 years old.
Whoa, okay, some serious innings that still will give thanks. Yeah, yes. We give thanks for the update Mandingo. Before we seal off the show, we're going to catch up with the Mandingo again to seal off the show. So.
Yes, to seal off the show towards the end. So yes. I'll keep listening, and remember, it's the final half of the Africa Cup final tonight.
We are
coming on. It's the second half now. Ivory Coast and Ghana. Up to when I just heard a few minutes ago, the score was still 0-0.
What?
Okay.
Give thanks, honorable.
For
Yes.
those cheering for Ghana, it's Ghana. For those cheering for Ivory Coast, it's Ivory Coast. But you see, for me,
Yes.
it doesn't matter as long as it's an African side winning.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
All right.
And everything nice. Give thanks, man, nigga. We'll catch up later. Yes, folks, you locked in. Give thanks and praise every time. Dutch Honorable Mandingo again, like I said, the Sunday straight to the point where we're trying to play no music at all, but just talk and reason. You see me, I say, and just keep the vibes level and bless our way. As you see, Mandingo originally choose Sir Cox and bring the whole topic to the forum last week. Every Sunday we try to endeavor to have whatever topic the people that wish to talk about and bring straight to the forum. You see me, I say, and get straight to the point and again, this is the whole situation. I know some people wasn't fully aware of what the discussion. I know some people have had time since last week to go on the internet and to go read up and and do their more research and come to their more conclusion or opinion. You see what I say? And like we said, for those who have a line in the studio, come in, we have some cars and one come in. Alina did it on the line too. Alima, okay, Alima. Let me catch up with Alima. Yeah. Greetings, Alima. How you doing?
Hello. Yes. Good evening.
Welcome to the show.
I'm just telephoning to say that I agree with Brother Mandingo 100% about playing the music of other artists. It's not only Bob Marley, because a lot of people really do believe that he is the only artist from Jamaica.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
yes.
A lot of foreign people that I've met.
Yes.
So big up to Brother Mandingo for that. And everything else that he has said and supported in the past. Tonight as well, all right?
Yes, Sister Alima. Give thanks straight to the point. See, folks, just like that. That wasn't that bad. That wasn't bad now, was it? Yes, and locked in to remember. Sister Alima, by the way, because have you checked out, because was you listening last week?
Yes, I was.
And because, as you know, the whole subject and the topic to kick off with the Jamaican Reggae Industry Association obviously giving an award to David RODIGAN in the category of the media category.
Yes.
Did you have an opinion on that?
I have an opinion on it, and I don't think that he should be awarded at all, right? As other people have supported. Now, what happened is that after Brother Mandingo spoke and Lordy Coxon, there was this person who came on and gave a lot of negative things about the music and RODIGAN and everything else. And I think that was really something like a sabotage.
Okay,
because somebody like that should not have been on, because he has no knowledge.
Oh, that was the Rasta Bridge. Yeah,
yes.
Yeah, okay, I think, yeah. Vox coming, you welcome. I think I know this one.
I want to balance the argument. You said that you don't have the knowledge. It's not everybody going to have the knowledge. While people will have the knowledge are David RODIGAN. And you have to admit that. Everybody ain't going to know about Lady Cox and the history. Because we don't know about a lot of it. Even me don't know the full history. And if you remember, the interview is after the guy in Jamaica spoken. Mm-hmm. Castro Brown. Me say, you know something? Me now say me did agree with RODIGAN, but when after Castro Brown spoke, me see the argument. So you can't really blame the person. I'm going to tell you, there's many more people who sharing his opinion. You understand? Because many people don't know the history, and the history hasn't been taught. You understand? So we need more program like this. We need more Mandingo.
And Alima, we not cut the fact, because and the thing about it, we mustn't be afraid also of having a different opinion. You see what I'm saying? Sometimes, and the whole objective of the platform is to sometimes we may even have to agree to disagree. Yeah, but the thing is, we must still be able to dialogue, to talk, to reason and converse. Yeah, because in a world where there's so much problem, these are the things the youths them observe and they watch. They watch we elders how we have a problem and how we deal with it. Do we just go wrong on the problem, or is there any solutions to go with it? You know, and something, you know, because like the communication and conversing is a skill. Some, you know what I mean, and some people are very passionate, and sometimes emotions can arise and get high. But the thing of the day is respecting that everybody have an opinion, a view, because sometimes you may, you know, have a particular view, and you may only have two ways of looking at this view here, but somebody else gonna come and show you something the way you say, why, that's an interesting school of thought. There's 3 ways of looking at this view, or there's even 4 ways. That's why sometimes them say, no, this, you know, so again, you know, because we don't stereotype or anticipate what people are going to say before them come. I kind of welcome all views. You see me, I say, within whatever passion, you know what I mean? Because, and that's why I love with Brother Mandingo, because him come with him views as an African, him say what he mean, and he mean what him say, because him done business who don't like it. You see me, I say, and this is what the platform in exercising freedom of speech, in freedom of expression as a great soul, and as a human being, and that's what we want everybody to feel have the freedom to do, even if it means that you want somebody now going to have a difference of opinion. We want to know that the platform is here for you to still have your opinion, even though everybody not going to agree.
Okay then, but I will still stand by my argument to say I believe that these ill-informed people should not be trying. You can't have them on the ear trying to educate our young. All right, and I leave it at that now.
Yes. Which again, valid opinion, sister, and that's what it's about. You know what I mean? Entitled, we want the views that we want to express. We want people to get straight to the point, and that is definitely a valid view. You know what I mean? Sister, as far as she's concerned, that opinion from the virgin shouldn't have been on the airways. Interesting view, facts that come in.
Yeah, valid opinion, but as I will keep saying, until the elders them start come out and talk, we always gonna have people having their opinion, just like myself, because until I heard it from their angle, be almost upon the other side. Yes, what I say, Sir Kush? Yes. So we need the elders them to do more programs like this, get the facts out, and make we understand the history. And it's like this is important history, you know.
No, yeah, and no doubt the brother was here too, like I said, in no doubt learn too. You see me, I say, because you know, it's only sometimes when you know what's on a person's mind, you can address. You see me, I say, because like I said, everybody know it all, and sometimes, you know, it's like, you know, you have youths who go to school sometime, and them they even want to put them on because they don't want to look. So sometimes you may have to say something, you know what I mean, and sometimes at the end of the day, you may have to take sense out of the nonsense and learn the same way, you know, because we're in a serious time. But like Fox said, the more we have the elders them coming out, yes, and talking, you know, and able to counteract the ignorance as well as the fabricated history. Because a lot of the history is where the main problem is of always being documented. This is why, like I said, you know what I mean, everything is crucial. We need, because we see what the problem is, but same time we have to ask ourselves, what is the solution? How do we prevent this? You see, the same concerns, just like where, you know, Yaspers also Lima, same concerns again. How do we prevent concerns like that? So that, you know what I mean, even if it's somebody who's miseducated teaching our children, what have we got to do as elders and people who are more well informed, you see me, I say, to prevent scenarios and situations like that? Because, like you say, and as we know, the first step to liberation is the mind. The mind does need to be liberated with the correct knowledge, correct information, relevant knowledge, relevant education. Fox everything.
Yeah, man. No, it's a good point. She just made still. Yeah,
man. Kingman, sorry, when you want to come in, I say special greetings. Welcome to the show every time. There is a little David Sleepy. Welcome, Virgin.
Yes, sir. Yeah, Phonics, I'm calling me. Yeah.
Phonics, all right, folks.
Yeah.
Them who know about the place, Phonics, Luton Town, Bedfordshire, pick it up. Yeah. Go on, Kingman. The platform is yours.
No, I want to say, yeah, I agree 100% with the sister we just called, because. When she said about the brother that she had on last week and certain argument he was putting forward.
Did you listen to the show last week?
Yeah, man.
Okay, give thanks.
Sure.
Yes.
And I agree with her, because, yes, opinion is one thing, but you cannot go making statements from a position of ignorance. If you're going to make a statement, you need to have facts behind you to back that statement.
Right, stick up in right there. So you just mentioned two crucial words there, the opinion and fact. What the brother did, you know what I mean, was the brother expressing his opinion or was he expressing a fact? You see, because that is two different things there. So because
It is two different things.
Yes.
I agree with you 100%. It is two different things. But what the way the problem comes in is where people are stating opinion and dressing it up as fact.
Okay, all right. Yeah, that's deception. We can't have that.
You understand what I'm saying?
And that's how history becomes fabricated.
You
So we
understand?
can't have that either.
Right?
Yes.
Or man who make a statement, right? And not make it clear that it is merely his opinion.
Well, I thought he said
And
it was
then you
his
get
experience.
then you get people taking that argument and running with it.
Yes.
You understand what I'm saying? And before you know it, the people is something that is not true becomes accepted as fact when it clearly is not.
Yes. That is crucial and you know what I mean, and relevant. I can't recollect. You know what I mean? I thought the brother did say it was his opinion because even when he concluded at the end, he also said Mandingo was entitled to his opinion, but his opinion was different. I think he was basing his thing on his own personal experience. But like I said, if there was a situation where an opinion is made to look like a fact. Yeah, that you know what I mean. That is damaging. You see me I said because
but that is precisely what the brother did because he what he was stating.
What did you remember what he was stating?
Right, he was stating and he was saying about him now lick out because everybody contribute and ray. But come on, like you said, the whole thing started from RODIGAN getting this award, right? I mean, not disrespect RODIGAN because, the man's a good radio DJ, the man is a good live DJ and play good when he play.
Is RODIGAN good for reggae or bad for reggae?
No. What before we go anywhere, I need to dispel a myth, right? And like I said, I'm not. This is not opinion here. Right, these are facts. Right,
straight to the point.
This is not my opinion.
Straight to the point.
Right, David RODIGAN started his radio broadcasting career in 1978.
1978.
Right.
Okay.
Like I said, I'm giving you facts. This is not opinion.
Okay.
1978. By 1978, I can name at least 4 Jamaican artists that had #1 in the British pop charts. So Jamaican music was already firmly established in the mainstream music of this country. Right? The first #1 by a Jamaican artist in this country was Desmond Dekker Israelites, 1969. Followed in 1970 by David Alston Collins, Double Barrel. You understand? This is not opinion, this is facts. You can go anywhere and look on the British charts from the 60s, 70s, and you will see that. The first Jamaican artist to have a tune in the charts was Millie Small, 1964. You understand? 1974, which is 4 years before RODIGAN started his career on radio, Ken Booth went to #1 with Everything I Own. Right? So reggae was firmly, Jamaican music was firmly established. And there is this myth that David RODIGAN spread reggae music. No, he didn't.
Okay. All right. Interesting. Okay. That's interesting because, okay.
By 1978, Bob Marley was already an international superstar. His tour that year, 1978, Babylon by Bus tour, was the biggest tour on the planet that year. You know what I'm saying to you?
Yeah, man. We know.
Right?
We know this.
So these are facts.
Yeah, we know that it's facts.
This is not opinion.
Yeah, me know David RODIGAN never spread reggae music, so I was never involved.
Right? But you have this myth that is being spread that David RODIGAN brought reggae to a wider audience and ray. It is not true. It is simply not true. I defy anybody to call in here
and to say
that has been in that knows reggae music in this country from the 60s till now to phone up and say them never know about not even into reggae music. People that I would defy anyone that lived in this country. They didn't even have to be into reggae music. That lived in this country from the 60s till now. That can phone up and say them never hear about reggae music till them hear, right, David RODIGAN. I defy anyone to do that.
No, I don't think nobody could have done that. You know what I mean? None them not gonna nobody not do that. You know, but yeah, but you know, but the thing is, the thing is, because like I said, the thing where we want, so because the thing where we are looking for this, because I don't know if you have ever heard about this Jamaican Industry Association.
I have heard of them before.
Okay.
Before any of this, you know, I've been aware of them for a couple of years now still. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But you see, what again, you know, like I said, I'm dispelling the myth. Again, what happened was, you see, in Jamaica itself, you know, they're not aware. You know, and some of that is the fault of the, you know, producers in Jamaica and stuff that was sending music over here, and the artists that they were recording didn't even know the music was here, right? So so when people like David Rodigan went down to Jamaica, and they say, "Oh, he's a radio man, radio," the producers, the artists, and all that, they actually thought David Rodigan was bigger than he actually was, because in this country. Right, I'll tell you who spread reggae music in this country. Right, yes, you have the obvious big names like Cox and Fat Man, Shaka, Quaker City, Ray, but even the little sounds up and down the country that was playing in people's basement at Saturday night time, the little show being down. They're the people that spread reggae music in this country. Yes, they're the people. Right, that put reggae music in the charts, cause like Mandingo said a little while ago, reggae wasn't played on the radio, but it was hitting the charts regular. So somebody was out there playing it.
So in your view then, what has David Rodigan done?
David Rodigan, what has he done in terms of what? What, in contribution?
Yeah, because
his contribution to what? The development of the music?
This is what we're talking about, yeah. So the other side of what we're talking about, so what has he done?
What has he done for the development of the music? I'm going to say this, and I don't care.
To the point,
right? Zero.
Okay.
He did zero. Listen, yes, he had a radio show that played reggae music every week, and he still has. Yeah, but... in terms of actual development of the music, zero. Let me tell you something, right? And again, I don't care who vex, right? Nobody in the UK can command the kind of money that David Rodigan can. He's the top earner in reggae music in this country, right? Now, I defy anybody to call in and say, and tell me, right, what David Rodigan has actually contributed. Which artist him ever boss? Which artist he has actually invested in? Yes, he's great at collecting, but what does he actually invest?
Okay, folks, straight to the point here, right? Yes, so yes, and if you do want to phone and if you do want to be a part, 07434603589, I go and see we can link up with no massive one coming on the line, hold on right there. So also just via the Skype SFDCRADIO.com. Yes, also 0203-287-9057. Like I said, facts are facts. Know what is the facts, or know what is the views. Know what is the facts, and know what is the person's opinion. You see me, and you know, and like I said, some people, I know some people that talk during the week. Not everybody want to come on the airwaves. No problem. Facts with us, okay?
Yeah, I've just spoken to Rodigan manager Ricky.
Yes.
And he said that Rodigan don't want to do no interview, and there's no point him commenting on stuff that other people are saying. But one thing that Rodigan said is that he wasn't expecting no award. It was given to him, so. The issue is with
the association.
The association. They should deal with the association. It's not to do with him. Yeah.
Which is what we said from last week, because we said we don't know how Rodigan never nominate himself. You see what I'm saying? But it's down to the association, and we're not able. So far, we have been trying to link with the association. This is where the whole thing come about. Through the association, if you felt, you know what I mean, that obviously naturally, because the whole thing through Sir Light Coxon and Brother Mandingo was that they naturally felt that Ketal Africans were ignored by the Jamaican Reggae Industry Association, because them ignore, it's not Rodigan ignoring them.
No, nobody. As far as this award is concerned, I'm not pointing the finger at Rodigan at all, because like you say, he didn't nominate himself. Right? Where I point the finger on that score is is the association.
Right, okay.
Because they, they knew had these awards coming up. They were lazy because they should have done some research. They should have sent a representative over here and speak to various people within the reggae community in this country.
Research, yes.
And, again, don't go on opinion. Find out the facts. And find out the people that did do the work. Who the people that actually did who did the grafting and established reggae as a mainstream music in this country. Although they could have done so much more, and it could and there is so much more that can be done. But at the same time, you know what? I also say this: don't look for we shouldn't be begging the BBC to play our thing. Right. We should be setting up our own thing.
To come to that next, right? Yes. We
should have our own
solutions.
We shouldn't be handing out begging bowl to nobody.
Okay.
We should have our own.
Yes. Give thanks and praises. Yes, serious. Little David Sleepy again. Looking at the problem, what could be a problem, but also drawing upon some of the solutions. I want to say special greeting to the next guest on the line. Is that all right, King? Do we have Mikey Massive on the line?
Yes, I'm on the line.
Greetings, welcome to the show, Straight to the Point. Mikey Massive, also, yes, Ras, not only Ras, but the original journalist also. Yes, international freelance journalist, both the place. We'll just grab this piece of, I want this piece of paper, this paper, King. Yeah. Yes, welcome to the show, brother Mike. Straight to the point. You see me, I said, like we said, the whole subject initially was, the war situation. I know that you may have done a research plan because the whole topic was brought, as an observation from Sir Lyde Clarkson, looking in the Jamaican Observer article, bringing the attention to Brother Mandingo, who brought the attention to SFDCRADIO, who felt that vital, key African Jamaicans were ignored by the Jamaican Reggae Industry Association, and it was disrespectful and wrong to be given an award to David Rodigan, to represent what the man himself was African or reggae music, which is African culture. What is your own take upon your own research and your own findings? What is your view?
Well, obviously I don't have any personal axe to grind against Mr. Rodigan. He's made a name for himself within the remit of our culture and our industry. But obviously, I felt a little bit disappointed that there wasn't any other individual who was singled out for citation for such a prestigious commemoration.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was particularly poignant that in the year of the 150th anniversary of Paul Bourgeois' rebellion at Barambir, that they didn't. The Jamaica Reggae Industry Association didn't see fit to recognize any Jamaicans or African Jamaicans who were living outside of Jamaica, particularly given the fact that Mr. Rodigan received the Media Award, and we think that perhaps it was a little bit hasty. In terms of the fact that we know that he has a very prominent position at this moment in time, but he is widely recognized across Europe by his own kith and kin, particularly in England. We've had several features in English newspapers this year, notably The Guardian, which has looked at Mr. Rodigan's association with reggae music and has applauded him for his diligence in adhering to reggae music. I would like to stress that our misgivings about the citation for Mr. Rodigan has nothing to do with race. Our cultural adherence suggests to us that any form of race discrimination or racism suggests that we may be a renegade culture, and that is something that we have always resisted. We actually applaud the fact that Mr. Rodigan and several other people of European and sometimes Asian heritage have distinguished themselves within the reggae community, and they are accepted, and we applaud the fact that we have created an endeavor that has been recognized by every member of the human family of all denominations. But it seems that sometimes people go overboard in terms of their recognition or their acclamation of some of the individuals who are outside of the African Jamaican community, and their contribution, I think, has been overestimated. To my assessment, Mr. Rodigan is not necessarily an innovator. There were Africans or people of African descent who had distinguished themselves within the media before Mr. Rodigan, and Mr. Rodigan basically took up the baton that was left by people such as Steve Barnard and Tony Williams.
True.
Now, on a personal note, I haven't actually been to a dance where Mr. Rodigan has regaled his audience for maybe about 17, 18 years. But I'm of a disposition whereby I don't actually like the juggling style.
Okay.
But a lot of people do. So a lot of people do really applaud that. But I had the great pleasure a couple of years ago to be at the dub festival that was hosted by Neil Fraser of Ariwa in the Gambia.
Oh, Mad Professor, yes.
And that was hosted by Tony Williams.
Okay.
And I thought that took me back to my childhood, because obviously the heyday of Tony Williams and Steve Barnard may have been over 40 years ago. So that suggests to you, to the audience, how old I might be. So I applauded the fact that Tony Williams seemed to have lost none of his enthusiasm and none of his fervor. And he was able to kind of like distinguish himself by his selection so many years after the event that he was actually in his sort of like dub plate heyday.
Yes.
As I've said, I found it disappointing that out of the 21 citations, there was nobody from outside of Jamaica who was recognized as an African Jamaican, that they could have found any category whatsoever that they could have recognized the contribution of, like, you know, the likes of, you know, Fat Man and Coxon and Shaka, even Mad Professor.
Yes.
One thing we have to remember about somebody like Neil Fraser, Mad Professor, he is not actually Jamaican. He's of African descent, but he's not Jamaican.
Yes.
But at this present point in time, he is the most widely traveled musician who's based in Britain. Out of everyone. Now, I'm not talking about the most widely traveled reggae musician from Britain. I'm not talking about the most widely traveled black musician from Britain. I'm talking about the most widely traveled musician based in Britain. The Mad Professor plays more foreign engagements than Paul McCartney or Oasis or One Direction. Or anybody that you know that is working within music, within Britain. The Mad Professor travels more widely than any of them. And in respect of this, it seems as if, like, the committee, the criteria that was used to select Mr. Rodigan at this point in time may have been a little bit short-sighted. But everybody has their own opinions, and I think that we'd have to accept it. Although some of the fault also must go with us. It's like, you know, for me, I think us as Africans in the diaspora, or African Jamaicans, or whichever denomination that we want to include ourselves, we have too much dumb in our nation. And the fact that Mandingo and Lloydie Coxon had to come on your show last year and actually highlight their own merits suggests that there was nobody actually to speak up on their behalf. And nobody ever comes up and says, well, yeah, let me state the case for Lloydie Coxon. If Lloydie Coxon hadn't done it for himself, nobody wasn't there to do it for him. If Jashaka doesn't state his case for himself, there's nobody there who's willing to do it for him. If my professor doesn't state his case, there's nobody there who's willing to do it for them. And it makes people seem as if, like, if, you know, for some people, they said, oh, well, you know, why would Coxon put himself through that? If he didn't say something, it wouldn't have been said. And people would have just accepted, sit down, don't say nothing, blind and dumb. And this has obviously been taking place for too long.
Yes.
At this point in time, reggae music is in a crisis. We don't seem to have the catchment that we once enjoyed. Reggae music was known as the liberation music.
Yes.
The people who seem to have the most commercial success within reggae music at the moment don't seem to be as interested in liberation as maybe some of the artists before. We have crises within the Caribbean. We have crises within Africa. Minea and a tune highlight things that are taking place in whether Nigeria or Congo or Sierra Leone or Liberia that seem to be of any wide commercial platform. When I was younger, we had songs such as Apartheid by Peter Touch, we had MPLA by Tapazuki, we had Marcus Garvey by Burning Spear. Those songs allowed me as a young person to do my research and find out what the context for the subject matter was. I don't think young people have an opportunity using reggae music in the present day to use it for any way of any type of educational upliftment. And that has to be the fault of some of us who don't agitate amongst artists to make sure that they are providing content that we would believe would be conducive to our better development.
Yes.
And also to the media, which they claim that Mr. Rodigan represents. At the point that Mr. Rodigan actually came to my attention within the reggae community, I believe that this dumbing down or de-intellectualization of our culture began. I'm not saying that he started it, but I'm saying that his emergence coincided with that. At the point where Mr. Rodigan became involved with reggae music, I think there was a preponderance towards content or subject matter that was puerile and a little bit childish. And he didn't in any way distance himself from it. He seemed to embrace it. If that was the material that was available to him at the time, then I'm not blaming him for that, but I'm just saying that his emergence coincided with that. And I think that at this particular point in time, when we have so many crises within the African diaspora, that the Jamaican Reggae Industry Association, to kind of like give shout-outs to people who maybe hadn't necessarily contributed to the upliftment and development of our music. It may be a little bit remiss of them. At this point in time, reggae still has a commercial catchment, but not reggae from Jamaica. We've had more Billboard charting over the last 2 years of reggae themed material than at any other point since the early 80s or the late 70s. But none of them are Jamaican artists. They tend to be Canadian artists and American artists. So therefore, what we have is the new rock and reggae is like the new rock and roll. People have recognized that this is a beat that they can use to uplift their audience. Audiences respond to it. It's danceable. It's engaging. And it can be commercially beneficial. And they are utilizing it, but we seem to have lost the ability to utilize it in the way that we did previously. Of the younger artists that we have around now, who people claim are kind of like them, say them carry the swing, but they don't have any foreign chart placings in the same way that people like John Walton, Ken Booth, Desmond Decker, Freddie McGregor, Jimmy Cliff, Toots, much less the Wailers and all them people there. The list goes on and on. Judah, the list goes on and on and on. And none of the younger artists, as far as I see within this generation, have actually been able to manipulate this paradigm to allow themselves to achieve this type of commercial acceptance. And the critical acceptance also is missing, because there doesn't, other than like maybe people like Richie Spice and Chronics and one and two other youths of note, there don't seem to be many of them who actually attract any kind of critical assessment. Reggae music at this point in time seems to be associated with degenerate behavior, salaciousness, and pure subject matter.
Stick up in right there, so Mikey. Stick up in right there, so King.
Mikey, I just brought up a research on what you just said.
Beg your pardon?
I just brought up a research, a finding on what you just said. Non-Jamaicans dominate Billboard reggae chart in 2014. For the third straight year, Billboard magazine top reggae albums are dominated by non-Jamaicans.
That's right.
And it carries on. I won't read
confirm what you are saying.
That's right. That's right. Obviously, they are into them research also. And you see that there is a crisis within the heart of our culture. That as usual, our artistic expression is found a foreign audience, but we who are the creators of this artistic expression are not beneficiaries of it. And I think our artists have let us down.
Hold on right there, so Mikey. Come in, little David.
Yeah, well, bless up yourself, Mikey. I just want to make a quick point. It's not a question to you necessarily, Mikey, but just a quick point. You see, Mikey mentioned about, Rodigan's rise coinciding with, the music changing. But you see, what happens, what has happened is people from outside our culture have set themselves up as experts on our culture.
Mm-hmm.
And therein lies the problem, because we are accepting those people from outside our culture trying to tell us who we are. That is the problem.
That's the problem that we have contributed to.
That's what I'm
Why
saying,
do we
because we're
accept
accepting it. So
influences? Why do
that
we
is the
accept outside
problem.
expertise?
That is the problem. It's no different. Like, David Rodigan is one example, but you have back in the 80s where, after Bob Marley passed and stuff, and then you had the emergence of UB40, who was being proclaimed as the best reggae band in the world. Come on, man.
Well, that was stated by people who believed that they represented a paradigm that they wish to accept.
This is what I'm saying. But
remember, it's always subjective. I'm not going to tell somebody that they shouldn't have believed that UB40 was the best reggae band in their opinion.
Mm-hmm.
As to whether we accept that, and if we don't present an alternative point of view forcefully enough, then the fault lies with us.
I agree with you. Of course, it is ours. Okay, let me give you an example, right? Let me give you an example. Now, I'm the type of I'm a scholar of the music. I'm a musician. I'm a sound man. I'm a scholar of the music. I've been studying this music from my idea of my knee. You understand what I say? Right? Now, when I play out right with my sound and thing, I will go and I'm gonna play a tune and I will say, oh, in this year this tune was recorded, who the artist, who the producer was, who the various musicians played, and I'm giving out this information, right? And people, our own people, is telling me, we have to stop the talking. We don't want to hear about that. Just play the music. Yet those same people will put their hand in their pocket and take out 20, 25 pounds to go and hear David Rodigan say exactly the same thing.
Thank you. And they applaud in feet, but then they don't want to hear it from we.
But they don't want to hear it from one of their own.
In other words, they don't accept scholarship from within the family. They accept it from outside.
Thank you.
And this was the same thing that took place with the blues, with gospel music, and with rhythm and blues. And as a result of this, the scholarship for those art forms generally lies outside of the communities that created them.
There you go.
All of the people then will get commissioned for book to write about African people culture. It's always non-Africans.
There you go.
Yep.
Show me the individual. All of you grew up in this country, and many of us have distinguished ourselves in many different fields and forums. Tell me the non-European individual would ever be given an opportunity to write a thesis or a film script about Winston Churchill or one of their ancient heroes.
There you go.
It will never happen.
There you go.
But we accept that people them talking about our icons all the time and disputing our own legitimacy to do that. And that comes from within our community, so therefore the fault lies with us.
Of course
like
it
I
does.
said, we have too much dummy in our nation.
All right. Well, I'll stick up in right there, Mikey. Fox, come in.
Yes. What Phonics just said, I totally agree with that. But you know me already, sir, because I'm a practical person who do things practical. Me not deal with the long talking thing, because many people make the speeches them, and when you go through the door, then forget about the speech. See, I look on Phonics years ago. I mean, I have to mention this on here. Years ago, I looked on Phonics, so he's right here talking on here, right? Talking about people accepting the knowledge from non-Africans then, yeah? Who is not a part of our culture. I looked on Phonics and I said to Phonics, say, you is as good, if not better than Rodigan at talking about each individual track. The same thing with Rodigan though.
Okay.
Phonics does it the same. Or better. and in my opinion, better. See? And I look on Phonics and I says, why you don't do radio? And Phonics say he's not a radio person. So you can't there so attack. You have the ability to give the knowledge. So this is why when me talk, you know, me know what me I say. You know.
Stick up in the box.
You can, if them don't want to hear it in the dance hall.
Yes.
Because I don't see you as a dance hall DJ. See, you have knowledge,
radio,
wealth and knowledge for pass on straight to the point. So, me don't even want to hear some of what you say. Because you need to give back the knowledge to the people them. Because you have it, I don't. Because I can't talk about it like you.
For a long time, because we asked for a long time, you feel so him better than RODIGAN.
I've told him that.
But he don't believe so.
He believes so.
Yeah, well, right? Because listen, you hear me say now, right? I'm not a radio man. I'm not a radio man. I'm a man like this, right? I'm a sound man. My background is sound system and live band. That's my background, right? Now, as a sound man, I am at my best when I have got people around me. I have an audience.
Yeah, but if the audience don't want to hear you,
listen, man, you talk, I mean, ain't say nothing. Me make you talk, so allow me, right? Now, my thing is, like I say, sound system and live band. I work better when there is people in front of me. I do not feel comfortable. I cannot work to my best with just me one sit down in a room in front of a microphone, because I feed off the vibes of the people. That's how I work. You understand what I say? So for me to sit down in a radio studio, just me one, and try and create a vibes, it not gonna work. You understand? Because me is a man who feed off of the vibes of people.
But you just said the people them, I tell you, them don't want to hear you, so what vibes they are.
But they say that, but that's not the fault of me.
No,
like I'm saying, if the watchman see and no want the nation, at least I put it out there. If they don't want to accept it, that is not my problem.
But there's other ways of putting it out there.
But also be mindful, like, you know, that the people is still on the ear, because don't make it seem as if because you have a microphone in front of you, know, that there's no audience out there listening to you. You see me, I said, you still have an audience.
They're listening, but it is passive, isn't it? Or it's one way. I like I said, I work off of feedback. It's a two-way process.
The feedback come in different ways too. You know?
You understand?
You have phone connection, Skype, text, all different things. You see me, I say, when I'm on a go, and I'm like, if you know, because me hear your history. Like when Fox said, I mean, you the way you recall history. And Lawrence Palmer, everybody talk about, say, boys, when they come to me, say, yeah, true, you know. And like you said, where is that, you know, because it's about the knowledge and the information again. And again, because we are looking on things where we see a problem. And we have to look at how do we prevent these problems before, because we have elders and we scholars out there who have the history and that. And if they're not using or put it in some kind of systematic way, because, you know what I mean? Because the sound system is one avenue. Radio is another completely different world, because you're there on radio with a microphone, you have access to the whole world. You're in a people's bedroom, them car, in the living room, you're everywhere. You see what I say?
Right.
So when the message, when it becomes about the message, I remember I said music is about the message.
Of course it is.
You best can maximize.
Of course it is. But like I said, me is a music man. Me is a sound, you know. So I'm just using I use music as my reference, right? Now, I might be a great writer of words, but I can't sing. So because I write a song and I can't find and the singer, because I can't sing, so therefore what? Those songs shouldn't be recorded?
No, we're not going to.
Right. So therefore, like I said, I'm not a radio man, but that doesn't mean that because I'm not a radio man, I shouldn't put the knowledge out there in the way that I can, which is.
But we're not pushing because you don't want to do that. So it's clear, you know what I mean? Because everything is about also free will, free mind, and
yeah, man, it's clear that the knowledge will never get out, because people who have the knowledge now go put it out.
No, but I'm putting it out there.
Empress
People don't want to hear it.
Empress Zen in Senkit says this issue proves that we are still reactive and not proactive. So what happens now? Are the contributors to the show going to form an organization and organize to award those they think are no deserve recognition?
Because Mikey, that would I say, because it's one thing observing the many problems and analyzing the many problems. When we're looking at solutions, now what should we be looking at?
The solution is right there in the studio, because you see, even though phonics, the eye who shows phonics say him to use the information we have and disseminate it through the airwaves, he provided encouragement to the youth, yeah? Because if phonics believed to himself that he wasn't a radio person, he's disproved his own belief about himself, because he limited himself. In his meditation, in his mentality, he limited himself. When we are activists for our culture and for our way of life, we can have no limits. I mean, if we go back to Mr. Rodigan again, Mr. Rodigan was actually started as an actor. Yeah? Yes. He didn't have anything to do with radio. He kind of stumbled into it. I think, credit where it's due, he's done particularly well. Because he studied the history of our music, and he disseminates information as and when he sees fit. But he's not the only person doing that. And obviously, the balance is weighted against us. Therefore, with the forum that you have with an independently owned radio station like you have, is the only time that we're going to have an opportunity to bend the media to our requirements. We need to be educating our community, particularly the young people. And it is through the forum that you have now that we are going to be able to do that, because it's not going to come through the conventional media. It's not going to come through BBC or Sky or ITV or any of them people there. So we applaud with the item I do right now. And for phonics, we say, keep the fire blazing. Kush, I might know that for the longest time, see?
Yes.
And previously you was not known as a radio presenter.
True.
You applied yourself to the task, and you acquired the information and the skills that you needed to become an exemplary radio presenter. So therefore, one should never limit oneself. No man nor woman is given one ability. We are all given a myriad of talents by the Almighty. So therefore, we should never be frightened to push our foot forward, particularly when we are activists in the defense of our culture and our way of life.
Words of encouragement.
Bless up that. Bless up, Mikey. Yeah, man. Respect that.
Yeah, before you go, Mikey.
Yes, King.
Let me just say this to you, and proudly say this as well. Me and Sir Kush, we started this thing from last year, this awards thing, So let me tell you, it's nothing new now. We've been doing honors to the living elders and the living elders and the living legends, and we have now decided that we're going to actually the certificate is already in print, so all who didn't get a certificate, we're going to present them with a certificate, and the future interviews them that we're going to do, we're going to present it. If the person is in Jamaica, we're going to post it to the appropriate person and get pictures taken. So we actually, something that we started already, because we realize that people are paying tribute to too much dead man. We are waiting till them dead before we honor them. We want to do it before them pass away. You understand? And we have some young legends as well that we're going to pay honor to. In Luton Town, you like Flavor Sound for contribution to the music, to sound system last year as one of the leading sound system in a Luton in 2014. You understand? We got a young DJ in London on Flames FM, DJ Jones, who won multiple awards. So we have DJ Jones as well. We got Sir Kush that I will be interviewing next week.
Next week Wednesday.
And that and the Living Elders Forum Living Legend. You understand? Sure. So we are something we started, but we're going to make it. We're going to popularize it even more now, because we got even Sir Cox, and we're gonna have some reason with Mandingo, because we want Mandingo to be a part of this, because he's not a 2-man thing or a 1-man thing. You understand? So we're going to confer.
It's a family thing.
Mandingo know the history, so we're going to link with Mandingo and find out some of the elders. And because, as I said, I myself don't know some of these elders, and me are 43. So we need people like Phonics here for a teach we and make we know some of the history. You see what me I say? Yeah, man. So something we start already. As me say, me may not have a speech like some people, but you see, when it come to the activeness, me no ramp.
Right.
You understand? That's me. Me not do too much of the talking. Me like to do. And that are the problem with the community. Many people come, them speech and them talk fanciful. And when the night done, it forget about. Which is what the Empress saying, Empress Zen. We too reactive. Alright, me leave it there, so circle.
Yeah, man, because we give thanks straight to the point. You know, because like we said, Honorable Mikey, and again, because we don't know that, like you said, it's good when you said earlier on that part of the reason why we're in the predicament we are as a people is because someone will have to take the blame. Because elders and people before who would have up big time opportunity, and many people in the business long time in the music business who have enough time opportunity to could have maximize and use the opportunities then better.
True.
And you know, and because of that again, why we say why one of the solutions have got to be where somehow we start acknowledging one another, recognizing one another, instead of waiting somebody else we can recognize and acknowledge with. And so I say,
of course,
you know, and you know, but I know we're going to move on with the program, but I want you, Saint, before you even come with your closing comments and anything, just send us some greetings at this time to some loved ones, King.
Well, like I said, I think the criteria that the Jamaica Reggae Industry Association utilized needs to be looked at, but I'm not criticizing the body as a whole.
Have you seen that criteria?
I have not.
Okay. Yeah,
so I don't actually know how they kind of like came to the decision.
Well, yeah.
I just imagine it was a lack of I believe it was a lack of imagination.
Yeah, serious.
Because
I
obviously,
think sorry
Mr.
to cut
RODIGAN
your mic.
has a very powerful presence internationally right now, and therefore they just went for the big name, and that's something that we see all the time. But obviously, I would encourage them to continue the work that they have started.
Stick up in right there, sir, because you said something
they could do more in terms of sort of like reaching out to our community and family at large in future.
Right, and this is the thing we wanted the question to find out if then they do that. But hold on right there, sir, because I just said that they make facts while I'm coming with something.
Mikey.
Yes, King.
I have an opinion. It's something that was told to me. Obviously, we can't confirm it as facts. RODIGAN will be in Jamaica. RODIGAN and the BBC will be in Jamaica around the same time of the awards. The awards. So what the person was saying is like they took their opportunity for the organization knew about this, so it kind of
allegedly it seems
allegedly,
you know what I mean, it seems as you know, so
you know what
I mean, you know,
it kind of go shed some light on the awards,
speculation.
You know, so
speculation
is not a fact, but it's something I've heard.
Because we know the Jamaican Reggae Industry Award seems to be on track to be hosted, because this month them call it Reggae Month now. It's no longer Black History Month, it's Reggae Month, and what they want to be the biggest staging of Reggae Month, and they have a budget initially of $48 million, and to host what was known as to be 22 events. You see, says, and so you know, so again, when we hear that you know, Mr. RODIGAN and the BBC were supposed to be over there at the same time, because we even know so that even within that budget there was quite some falling short. There was a big gap. They never have the kind of. There's a big question as to whether they didn't have the budget them they need so far. You know, so again.
Well, you see, that is actually good business sense, because to get the information about the organization as wide as possible, you have to utilize whatever opportunity you see at the time. But obviously the misgiving that we have is that he was the only individual selected for a media award.
Yes.
And perhaps they could have been a little bit more bold and also selected someone of African heritage
Yes.
at the same time.
Yes.
But they neglected to do that, and therefore they must accept the criticism will be a criticism.
Well, yeah, because we did come accountability and transparency, and this was because sometimes without not being able to talk with them, you know what I mean, people are left to guess, to assume, to speculate. You see me I say, and even then, you know what I mean, you only can reach so far with that. You see me I say, unless them there for talk, and it would have been nice to even, like I say, clarify what kind of criteria they did have. You see me I say, for things to be with. But again, we have been trying to liaise with them during the week. I sent a personal email myself to the executive director, Charles Campbell, just to clarify certain things, because I know them have a press conference coming up Tuesday, and again, today so far we have had no response. But we're going to see, because every Sunday is a different vibration, and we can always give folks an update with what's going on. Nonetheless, the topic is a crucial subject anyway, on the topic, because it make we have to look upon ourselves as a people, as elders. Oftentimes we want this, and it's like, you know, it's like in Luton, because man, they say, boys, we want a club, we want this. When, you know what I mean? And oftentimes people talk about what they want, and they expect other people to come and give it. You see me say, we want a club, we want some more, everything about, you know what I mean? And again, sometimes crossroads like this make we realize, boys, that, you know, there's certain things that people have to do for themselves.
Yes.
Sleepy, sorry, coming king.
Yes, let's take up in Kush. I was pretty much going to say the same thing. You know what? I want to move this debate away from one individual, away from just David Rodigan, because you know,
it is not about Rodigan.
It's not about him.
Yes.
And I actually want to make this debate about us.
That is
you understand what I'm saying?
The solution now. Yes. Yeah.
Let's move the debate and talk about what are we gonna do? You know, because it don't, because every so often something like this comes up, and everybody's complaining, but nobody does anything. You understand what I'm saying? So we need to, you know, how many wake up calls do we need? You know, I mean, you mentioned about, we need a club. You know what? Stop looking for players for hire. How come now? Look how long we there, right? And we don't own anything. You understand? And as long as we keep using other people's things, when they're ready to take it back, what we can do? We're not an attack. We need to own things. We need our own. You understand what I'm saying?
No joke, man. No joke.
Right?
So, hold on.
Yes, Sleepy.
Come, you give me inspiration, facts for coming there. Come in, pan that topic.
I go straight pan the pint, you know. You see, you talk about one. We can't own nothing if we not get the support. Yeah, man, we don't even see, you know, come out much, you know, Sleepy. You know, too gone about the event, you know, so we now can't own nothing.
Listen, man, over 50 live show me play last year. Where am I going to find the time? Every weekend.
Yeah, man, we tell me say you're done with playing out and all them things there.
Listen.
So for people who want things, we have to learn to support people first. Straight to the pipe, man, I mix my words. See? Uno no support nothing down here, so nobody ever want anything.
I've more than 50 show me play last year. I didn't
we don't see you out, you know. You're not gone away.
Who said me not gone away?
Sleepy your snap people event, man.
Hold on.
See?
Hold on. No,
so
man.
So we have money for buying nothing.
I'm not going to argue with
all right, hold on.
Straight to the point.
All right, make him respond to that now. If you want to respond to that. Mikey, before we go on with it, because we know the idea for the Lion King, man. You know, because, but hold on. No, all right. Fox make a vibration. Phonics, you know, naturally respond because, you know what I mean, because you're there and you have a right to respond.
Yes, I will. Yeah, because listen, I didn't, you know, I'm not into because this is also contributing to the foolishness when you have two man and make argument over the ear and I try to talk over one another. That's stupid. That's foolishness. We're supposed to grow out of that by now. You understand me?
One voice. We get the one voice. Yes,
right?
Yes, man.
Now,
but passion can flow, but like you say, you have a point still, yes.
Right? Now, the man said, him not see me no way. Listen, for the last 4 years, right? I'm a working, gigging musician. The last 2 years is over 50 shows for the year I play. No, you understand? So I it's not even say I don't want to come. I'm a sound man. I'm a musician, but I'm a sound man too. But the opportunity to play my sound isn't really there because I'm forever, for the last 2 years, I've constantly been gigging every single weekend. Right? So it's not supposed, because when I wasn't gigging, you used to come at your dance, we used to play at your dance, them facts. We used to play your dance them for you. So don't come and say, you know, me no support. Oh, if you say me no support, I'm never in Luton at the weekend to come to anybody dance because I'm working. I'm a gigging musician. I play over 50 gigs a year. So I'm not actually here to come to your event because I'm working myself. You understand? And like me said, me play over 50 odd show last year. Me never see none of them.
So.
All over the country.
The mic, put the microphone in.
I'm a person who always on the internet. I've never seen a flyers or anything on the internet about your events, or you've never invited me to an event. So, but anyway, Empress Zen said here, our question should be, what legacy do we leave our children and grandchildren, the next generation? So that's what legacy are we gonna leave?
And that legacy, like I said, comes a lot to do with what we are doing, with the actions, with the, because like the way, you know, this is why we're saying, because we can observe the various problems and we can put on the problem, but how do we draw upon the solutions? Because like I say, if we're taking the problem from where we start and we're there looting, and the first thing we need to know is unity. Sorry, Mikey, you want to come in, King? Sorry there. Because
yes, please. The item started already because the item don't show, I say.
Yeah, man.
You have your own awards, them. You have citation, you have certificate where you send out to people, them who you have highlighted and have identified as pioneers. So therefore, the activity has already started. And we don't need for belittle each and every one. None of we perfect. And all of we will have misgivings about some of our procedure and the way we go about our professional competency. But it's about the good that we do rather than the misgivings about some of the things that we do. So I am the need for kind of like of contention as to
no man, we're not vex one
or whatever. You know, the item for just love up and
no man, we do. Call me first. Remember, you know, me first rate him up and tell him say him fi spread him knowledge, you know, cause him is a knowledgeable person. When it come to music, me I tell you the truth, me not see nobody will beat him. And
there you go.
That knowledge if we are put to some better use. We can't keep these knowledge to ourselves, man.
But that's what going on right now, because right about now, I'm disseminate information, because I'm sure people say it's what going in the industry. People who wouldn't know, them have phonics to tell, to give them certain little information, little insight as to certain things what are going on within the industry. So therefore, I'm on support everything with the item are doing, and pick up the item to the fullness.
So we need phonics around here more often and give out the knowledge. We have to get back to Mandingo.
Well, that is about the end of the day, because at the end of the day, you're talking about consistency, because, you know what I mean? Because, you see, when people don't get something consistency, you say, you kind of wonder why I go on.
And it's not just phonics. As when we did first tell you about on the ear thing, SFDC wasn't here, you know. It was a brother station. So it's not even about SFDC. If phonics was on any radio, I tell him knowledge and him experience. I would be tuning in to listen. Me, I tell you that. Because phonics are somebody where no man don't know the knowledge like him when it comes to each individual tracks. Me not talk about the wider knowledge like where Mandingo have. You understand? But no, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about like each individual tracks. When you play a track, man, this man I tell you anything about the music. You understand? And to me, that knowledge needs to be out there, because a lot of people feel a RODIGAN alone can do it. And this is why I did say to him. You understand? So they only hope him take some courage.
But like you say, if a man don't want that role, if a man, because if a man don't want that function there, so you see me I say, then him don't want it, because Okay, you have to go back to the time and move on fast. All right, Mikey, give her your closing comments, Kingman.
Well, like I said, Africa first, and we as African people have to always be vigilant about anything that we see that might be undermining our culture. We have to remember, reggae music was known as a liberation music. When the man them did a fight for the liberation of Zimbabwe from the clutches of the Rhodesians, they said it was reggae music that inspired them.
Yes, sir.
That is why they chose Bob Marley and the Wailers to play at the independence unveiling for Zimbabwe. And Bob Marley is only one of the great liberation musicians that we have within the history of reggae music. But I like the youths them to look to that liberation aspect of the music and to continue that progress within this time, because it is more necessary now than it even was in the 70s. So as for the item for just keep up the good work and just more strength.
Honorable. Give thanks. Mikey Massive, Rastaman, journalist. Yes, give thanks and praises every time. Yes.
One love, in service.
Perfect love. We'll link up with Mandingo. You don't know before we round up. You didn't want to come up with anything before?
Yeah, just one quick thing. Facts are fresh on me for the radar thing, right? But here what, right? Cause I have no problem putting that knowledge out there, right? Okay, and I will just say, look, anybody, a youth, big people, anybody, I am prepared to even sit down with somebody and pass on that knowledge and write it down. Boom, boom. I'm prepared to do that. But like I said, radio is not my thing. But maybe what I should do is to have a prodigy or somebody to mentor then. That I can pass that knowledge on somebody and then they might have the radio thing, because I don't think I have the radio presence then to put something across like that, so maybe if I pass that knowledge on to somebody who can probably present it better than I can.
Well, let's say you sound fine to me. Every time I talk on the airwave, you sound like you present yourself fine, Bridget. All right, but we know where you come from. When I push that fire back, I know where you go. Where I say, Fox.
Just before we bring on Mandingo, let me just say something to you. You see the anger weighing on me? Because I know this brother is good at what him do, You understand? It's not because me are not against him, The man have the knowledge. He have some knowledge where me wish me have it. Because when me play music, me wish me have them knowledge. This man I can just repeat it. Them knowledge, you fear do something good with them knowledge. You understand? All right, Mandingo.
Welcome to the Fast of the Pro, guys. You know, the topic was really by Mandingo. We have no Mandingo, the elder for those round up thing and take it off and see.
Bless up yourself, Mandingo. Phonics in the building.
Yes. Yes, I've been listening carefully to all that was said. Can you hear me?
Yes. Loud and clear,
I've been listening carefully to all that was said, and I had to make several points because some things have to be cleared up, because people have to be properly informed, correctly informed about things. Several things. Starting off with this. It's not a reactive situation. In terms of awards, my friend, Jas Carter, dance promoter from Jamaica, and dancer in the group named Scotch from the 60s in Jamaica, was the first person to put on reggae awards in this country. This was in the 1970s. Jas Carter is also a journalist for the Gleaner here. Also. So, I'm telling you that Jas Carter is the first person to put on reggae awards in this country. That Black Echoes paper, now calling itself Echoes, imitated and followed. So that's an example of an African starting reggae awards in this country. And you have other Africans in this country who put on reggae awards. So that's not a new thing. The One Love concert here was first put on by the same Jas Carter. The people who do it some years ago had to ask him permission when they wanted to do it. But it was the same Just Carter who put on the first One Love shows, concerts here in this country. Starting over in East London. He did it for about 2 years. I am giving names and times so that people can't say they don't know. The thing about what FEB is saying, I quite agree with him. He's saying he's not a radio person. He's a sound system person. And he's also a musician who plays on the road. So, what he said was that when he gives information about a particular track when he plays as a sound system, the people listening to the dance don't want to hear it from him. But if they hear it, the same thing from Rodigan, or less than Rodigan, they applaud Rodigan and say, yes, great, great, great. It's a slave mentality, where you have our people, they cheer for Tarzan and don't cheer for their own people. It's a slave mentality, I'm telling you just like it is. Enough of them is people who have dreadlocks and say them are Rasta, but they are rascals. Mikey Massive was speaking. And you see, this is where, that's why some people can't deal with me, the Mandingo, you know, because I tell it just like it is. We fight a war on two fronts, internal and external. The Billboard charts that have in non-Jamaicans charting in the beer charts.
Yes.
That is no surprise to me and people who know about racism. The Billboard is owned and controlled by the Europeans, so they push their thing and their aim, like in anything that African people and other people do, is to own and colonize other people's things. They don't have no interest in pushing and promoting our people. This is why some years ago Junior Reid made a tune named Sign Up, talking about the racism of the European labels and of the Billboard charts. And that is why I don't respect no Grammy. I don't respect Grammy because Grammy is a racist European chart that promote them own Europeans or them promote the Uncle Tom sellouts. As simple as that.
Yeah, real talk.
Right? When you look on what they give it to those who they can control. So, it is the Marcus Garvey message. We have our own charts and must push our own things. So I don't respect Billboard, which is a racist European American chart. And I don't respect Grammys, which is a racist American organization, where they push and promote their people to try to control our thing. Yes. And it's the same thing. When they come out to the BBC, it's not begging the BBC. The BBC is funded by us, the people. That's it's our money.
Taxpayers, yes.
So our music must be played. It's not a begging thing. It's our money make the BBC run. But they operate in a racist way. Their playlists in not playing the music of our people. Yeah. It's not a begging thing. Our money subsidize it. So our thing must play. It's same with TV. Our money subsidize it. But they either don't make no programs about us or make lying negative programs about us using some sellout actors and actresses telling it just like it is. You see, just like how you have David Rodigan in reggae, it's the same way them are Tim Westwood in hip-hop. It's deliberate. They push their own European people, not only in their things, but in our things. And don't go around and pretend so you don't know, say it's racism, how these racists operate, and how they push their own people and try to keep down our own people. I have been giving information and educating our people for years, both as a journalist and as a radio DJ. Why you think I don't get the promotion in their media? It's because them know I'm an Africanist, them can't control me and use me as a tool. That's the reason why. Lady Coxon is not a new thing. For years I have interviewed Lady Coxon on various radio stations. Lady Coxon can tell you that, and many other people on different radio stations. Right now you have Wailing Soul. There's an interview on Conscious FM that I did with them.
What?
It's up there on Conscious FM.
Yes.
Seen? And other people also. Seen?
Yes.
I've done interviews with Liquorai on radio and otherwise. So I have done a lot of interviews and do educational things, telling people about the music. When it come on to what Fox was saying about Phonics talking about individual tracks and so.
Yes.
I do the same type of thing. Remember, it's Jamaica, I born and bred in the music industry. The musician, a lot of the music that you hear, I was in the studio when it was being made. So I don't hear about things. A lot of those things. I was there, I know it. Remember, I'm a producer, I make it. So when I talk about individual tracks, musicians, producers, what happened from a standpoint of being born and bred in the thing and being there when some of the things were being made. See? I know all about the industry in terms of the pressing plant, the studio, the media, etc. So this is not new thing. And you have other people like me too. The difference is most of them don't have the guts to come out and say what I say publicly. They only say behind closed doors because they are cowards.
True.
They are cowards. I'm Mandingo the African. I'm an African soldier. It's a Gaviite. I'm not afraid of no European. And I don't look for no European, and I don't have to praise no European for nothing. Because I'm not obligated for praise no European for anything, whether in my music or otherwise. And who don't like it can go to hell. Know that. I'm not appeasing anyone. I don't kiss. Hey, and you know what I mean by that?
Yeah.
No, that's straight. No, Mikey Massive in talking. One of the things that he did, which was wrong, I never liked that. And it show you the subconscious level where our people operate. You notice every time he called Rodigan, he called him Mister. But when he was calling my name, Cox's name, and all the other African names, Neil Fraser of Mad Professor, he never called us Mister.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay.
Real
That
talk.
is significant.
Yes.
That's an inferiority complex.
Yeah.
Seen? Him called Rodigan Mister every time. And when he mentioned the African's name, him no call us Mister and just call us by our names. No, it's either you say call all of us Misters, or you don't call all of us Misters. So I'm supposed to just say Rodigan. When him use and I call him Mister every time, him put in Rodigan the European over I and I as Africans in terms of respect.
Real talk.
And people listening on this thing tape, and I don't lie me I tell is the truth.
Yes.
Then,
Yes.
or you call Rodigan Mister, and you calling other Africans and not calling them Mister. The whole will be a Mister, and none of we are Mister. See? So that is somewhere Mikey must fix up on.
Yes.
See? And it's not the first time. You see Tony Screw play a downbeat in New York, I'm a brethren. And it shows you how a lot of our people have this slave mentality. One time him a play Rodigan in this country. I think it was a dance in New York, yes. And him referring to Rodigan. When Rodigan talking about him, him says Tony Screw. When Tony Screw was talking about Rodigan, him a call him Mister. You see, after the dance and thing, I heard it over, YouTube thing. I phone and say, hey, Tony Screw, what kind of little slave mentality thing that? What kind of idiot thing that? Notice Rodigan just call you Tony Screw. And when you talk to him, you're in a clash, you call him Mister. A slave mentality, you're demeaning yourself. A slave mentality. See?
Yes,
Real talk.
You must respect yourself. There's no way in which me I call no European Mister and not call my people Mister. That's totally wrong. See? Fix up.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Yes.
Can't get it back on you know for comment, but yes.
No, listen, you don't have to come back nothing because that is what was said, and you know that. So don't go and let you hear it.
No, we know that was said, but I don't know if you want to explain what you mean.
So what I'm saying, that there's no point of view about that higher. Everybody, you don't call him Mr. and don't call the others Mr. No point of view no in that, man. Shoot a shoot, man. Me know this thing. Listen. I don't know, 1 side, 2 side, 3 side, 4 side, and nothing, you know. Me not deal with them thing there, you know. I deal with the truth. It's either a thing true or it's lie. See? Because you have people who try to evade responsibility and try to evade things where them do wrong by a come with them 1 side, 2 side, and 3 side. See?
Interesting, yeah.
It's just the truth. It's either it's so or it's not so. See? Now, in terms of nowadays reggae artists, we have nowadays reggae artists who are good, but just like how in every generation, the racist European media in Britain and in America, they do not promote the music of these artists. They deliberately give the false impression like says only Bob Marley, who came with the positive lyrics, and I name out other people whose music they deliberately don't play. The Ken Boo, the Eptones, and the others, and that type of thing.
Veterans, them, yes.
And I can name the amount of songs. Current artists that we have is like Chronix from Spanish Town, Ayactian, Queen Ifrica, the sister named Janine, Kabaka Pyramid, band named Raging Fire. And there are many more bands right now as we're talking about who are good. And also artists, you hear me name some of them, whether as singers or as DJ. You have the DJ from Spanish Town, Chuck Fender, positive lyrics.
Tough.
Yeah.
Tough.
Seeing?
Tough.
You have Tony Rebel.
Yep, tough.
Him have positive lyrics. So I don't want nobody who don't know nothing about Jamaican music at all about say we don't have current artists who are not good. We have good current artists now and before. The thing is that due to racism, they are not promoted by the racists.
Yeah. Stick up in
we have to promote our artists. And one of the mistakes, and it's due to this, it's not a mistake. What happens because of the slave mentality is that a lot of our people, if Europeans don't say a person or a thing is good, then don't consider it to be good.
Interesting.
Then wait on Europeans to validate and to lie something. That is the slave mentality.
All right, facts.
No European tell me which artists or what in my culture is good or bad. I, the African, decide that.
Give thanks. Facts, come in, facts. Quick, I run out of time.
Brother Mandingo.
Yes.
You know, funny enough, I'm writing, I'm doing a write-up at the moment, and it's a write-up that I'm not rushing. And believe you me, the write-up is the state of reggae music is in a good state. You know, a lot of people keep saying it's in a bad state. I don't think so. What it is...
Listen, I agree with you. That's why I said the thing that I just said, you know.
No, yeah, I'm agreeing.
That's why I name artists, you know.
I'm agreeing with you.
Current artists, exactly.
But not just also... what you have now, you have a lot of internet radio... You have a lot of independent radio station as well, where... A lot of the DJs they get carried away with the hype and they're playing the wrong music. But that was the side I was touching on. Still, is that a lot of them are focusing on the negative stuff, which is why.
Let me say this. I agree with you, but listen, you have good and bad in everything. So you have those DJs who don't know much. And they have low self-esteem. So they don't have any positive values to impart. Remember that I, Mandingo, for those of you who don't know, I am still a radio DJ. I play on several radio stations. Every week.
Which one? Name them now?
See? For example, I play on Flavor Radio.
Okay.
Every Tuesday.
Nice.
From 7 till 10.
What?
Which is on the internet and also on FM, 94.4 FM.
Yes.
Flavor Radio, FLAVA. It's on the internet.
All right.
And I'm on the FM 94.4. See?
Which day is that,
From 7 to 10 every Tuesday.
All
and
right.
I just don't play music. I have a segment in it called News and Views.
Okay.
Where I talk about
News and
Pan-Africanist politics, music, and the works.
Tough.
You understand? And I
Yes.
play music which is both old and new. I play mostly reggae music. But I also play at times soca,
Okay.
rocksteady,
Yes.
mento, soul, disco.
Okay.
You understand?
Words.
Ska. To my vibration. In other
Yes,
words, no one
yes.
can predict what I'm going to play from
Yes,
show to show.
certainly.
The only thing that is guaranteed is musical niceness.
Yes.
And what I do is I play old and new. Because I don't deal with segregation. You have some people who segregate. They only play music from that era. No, you will have some specialist shows that do that. We understand that.
Yes.
But I'm talking on an overall basis. There's a wrong tendency to be segregating.
Yes, Mandingo.
music.
Like I have a specialist show on a Wednesday, Sunday, 4 to 6, which I call Luton's Raytown Sunday, where we go way back in the days, oldies but goodies, So
Yes.
yeah.
Felix coming before we see him. Felix, well, coming quick.
Yeah, bless up yourself, brother Mandingo, again. But what I say is this: when you were talking about like the Grammys and the different awards and stuff, and I agree with you 100%. I mean,
On the what? Say that again.
the Grammys and the
At the time you were talking about the
Billboard
Grammy Awards
and all that.
and the BBC playlist and all that.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. I mean, even if you take it to this country, like the Mobos, and I remember when the Mobos was on this last year.
Fraud, man.
And a whole heap of people said, "Oh no, the Mobos was rubbish this year."
Mobile fraud.
Listen, I stopped
And
listening.
me can tell you why me say that. You see the girl right keep it?
Yeah.
Listen to me. When I was a journalist for Touch magazine with my monthly column in the 90s. See, remember I tell you that the Chris Blackwell did complain through my writing, I'd say, in family did.
That's right, yes.
Nothing and so a long time in the on the battlefield.
Yes.
See, that's where the thing. I'm in a fear of no guy. See, I no girl. And thing. When the girl named King wanted to do it, she sent around a questionnaire to us, Touch magazine and other journalists, people in the media, and asking us questions because she said she wanted to come with a thing to honor, music, African music of African origin from whatever and thing.
Yeah.
Okay? I filled up the questionnaire along with her, and she said that she would get back in touch with us and so on. Appreciate, because what she doing really, she lacked the knowledge, so she wanted the knowledge to know what is what, and we supplied that. You see, after I sent in my thing and others sent in, we never heard from her again. Never. And then, when we see how the awards start come out, we see she gives some Europeans award when it's Africans supposed to get them award. That even Omar, the artist, where do the tune there's nothing like this. And to say that the Mobo is a thing where is used as a front. See, give non-Africans award over us in our own culture. And it's true.
All right.
So we don't respect Mobo.
Yes.
No, man, but listen.
Because me know the history of how that just gave of how that come around. And when you look at the awards from the very first year and thing, and see who was getting awards and so, we see how that go. And this is how the Europeans and their stooges operate. Whenever they see something from Africans.
We have 2 minutes to go, Mandingo. 2 minutes.
They try to come in and colonize and enslave it to make money out of it. What we must do is that we as Africans must do the Marcus Garvey thing of working together and owning and control so that we benefit from our music and other creations.
True.
See? And that is not racism, that is African independence. That is self-reliance. And in fighting, remember, you have the traitors who, in every generation, work on behalf of the racists to try to undermine us. See? And let me tell you this.
60 seconds. What? Yes, 60 seconds.
When I used to be on Choice Radio Station on a Wednesday, giving information with Ernie, the reason why I was stopped at Choice from doing my Wednesday information show educating our people was because I gave a report that showed that the report that Ernie was given false information that RODIGAN had defeated Kilimanjaro with Ricky Chubating. That was not so, because they didn't ask Kilimanjaro how the thing go. I did.
Yes. And
when the DVD came out, it showed how that go. But I was penalized by being off the radio station. And there are other things. So I have examples of
Mandingo, we have to go round up.
As an African, because I am telling the truth and educating our African people. Remember that.
Yes.
You have the traitors and you have the racists.
Monday tomorrow, you're there Monday tomorrow. Honorable Mandingo, you're there Monday tomorrow. We have to wind up quick. Before this all on the Mandingo, one second, I want Phonics to have him last say before you have your seal off for tomorrow. Phonics, quickly.
Yeah, I just want to say, to go back to what you were saying, the music now, you know, our Jamaican music, in the space of a short space of say 10, 15 years, it has moved from the music of peace and love to murder music. And the reason why that is, I would say the reason why it is in the interest of the major record companies, the European record companies, to have reggae in that position.
Ma'am, then 60 seconds, round it off for me, please, and seal up.
Yes. What I have to say is that it is a false thing to be accusing the artists who do not agree with homosexuality and lesbianism as being homophobic. First of all, phobia means fear, and we don't fear homosexuals and lesbians. And we have the right, as Queen Ifrika say, freedom of expression, to disagree with that agenda that they are trying to impose on our people.
I think that's
to the extent of telling our government that if we don't legalize homosexuality, then they're not gonna give us any so-called aid money and that type of thing. Well, to hell with their money. Yeah. We must stand by our culture, and we must not be bullied into doing things that we know are wrong things.
Give time, Mandingo, that's another day. And you know what? That subject there, that topic, we're not going to seal it this because that we have to take up that one there on the straight to the point too. But we have to seal up. We want to give thanks because we're late already. Tomorrow, folks, remember, say you got Mandingo, the Garvey Ikes, the Pan-Africanist for the Nubian B program. Thank you, Phonics, for coming in. Thank you, Mr. Mikey Massive. Give thanks, Fantastic Silverfooxx. Yes, and do remember, says www.sfdcradio.com. Yes, blessed love, Empress. Thank you for all those listening. Yes, silent listeners also. Members to lock in 24/7. Tomorrow you got Honorable Mandingo, Study Garvey, come make with Study Garvey.
SFDCRADIO.com. And match up the world.